Welcome everyone. Today we're going on a treasure hunt together. But instead of shovels and compasses, we'll be using SAP Concur standard reports as our treasure maps. Maps that lead us to hidden gems that are buried deep inside your travel and expense data. Everything we'll look at today already exists in your system right now. With that, the gems are already there. All we're going to do today is learn how to uncover them. My name is Tiffany Graham. I am a senior data services consultant here with SAP Concur. And my passion is to help organizations uncover the insights that are buried just beneath the surface. Today's session is about discovering those insights, those hidden gems, and learning how a few small changes to a standard report can really unlock new pathways and tell a clearer and more compelling story. On our treasure hunt today, we will visit 4 lands. First, we will travel to the land of administration, where we uncover who's on the ship and where they're assigned. Next, we are going to move over to the land of travel, where we will discover which routes are costing us treasure. Then, we will travel to the land of expense, where the largest treasure piles live. And finally, we're going to travel to the land of compliance, where we catch the treasure that's slipping through the cracks. Each land has hidden gems that are just waiting to be found. Before we go on our treasure hunt, let's start with a quote that I love by Debbie Fields. The trick is you can't find hidden treasure until you start digging. You can think of our standard reports as your shovel. Your data is the treasure, and your ability to dig into those reports by adding items, tracking some trends, and scheduling those reports is what is really going to unlock the real value. Every time that I work with a client, the moment we add just one more data item, or we review that report from a different angle, a whole cavern of insights opens up. And today, you'll see exactly those moments. So let's go ahead and start digging. Our first stop is to the land of administration. The land of administration is the place where we learn who is on our ship, what roles they carry, and how we keep the treasure maps up to date. Administration is the starting island on our treasure map. Before we sail, we need to know the hidden gem questions the people of administration often ask, like who is on board, what roles do they carry, and are we communicating with them effectively? These questions might sound simple, but when they go unanswered, they create some of the biggest operational issues. Missing roles, outdated profiles, or even incorrect approvers can really create bottlenecks. And that's the equivalent of trying to steer a ship without a crew list. So let's go ahead and start digging. As we go through the presentation, you're going to see at the top of the slide, beneath the report title, if this report is available in analysis or intelligence. You'll also see the path to these reports at the bottom of the slide. Our first report is the employee roles report. This is one of the simplest yet most powerful treasure maps in our toolkit. If we don't know who holds which roles, it's just like trying to steer a ship without knowing who's at the wheel. Missing roles create bottlenecks, and extra roles open the door to risk. That's the kind of trouble that no crew wants to stumble into. This report will review 2 of the most valuable gems that are buried in your data. First, who actually has access, and second, whether that access truly makes sense. With these gems uncovered, your treasure map becomes clearer, it becomes cleaner, and far easier to navigate. Now, by adding the active and the reporting group data items to the employee roles report, it's like adding 2 new compass points to your treasure map, helping you see who is truly part of the expedition and how each adventure is organized on the journey. The active data item is going to show you who really is on the quest. The field is going to help you separate the true explorers from those who are no longer on the trail. It ensures that you only reviewing roles for your crew members who are actually reviewing the data, approving the travel, or configuring policy roles. So with this, there's no more chasing clues from travelers who have already sailed away. And the reporting group will allow you to organize your crew into tribes. It can really show you which team or department has access and tells you who's who within the organization. So the employee roles report is where the real treasure starts to shimmer. Once you add the active and the reporting group data items on the map, it really comes to life. It reveals which crew members truly belong on the ship and which ones are carrying roles or access that they no longer need. With these gems in place, you can easily spot explorers who have drifted away from the organization but are still holding those valuable keys. Or even crew members that are assigned to a reporting group that don't match their organization role. It's like uncovering hidden passages in the map that show exactly where the cleanup is needed. And scheduling this report to your expense administrator each month will ensure that you always have a fresh snapshot of your treasure landscape. A few minutes of review now is going to really prevent future storms. And it's going to help avoid any kind of massive headaches that come from outdated access, incorrect permissions, and even tangled reporting structures. Next is the employee details report, and this is going to give us a full character map of our crew. It's going to reveal who's who on our voyage and who reports to whom. It's like opening a detailed explorer's ledger with information that's pulled directly from each traveler's profile. With this map in hand, we can scan the landscape for missing pieces of the puzzle. There's no lost approvers, there's no missing employee IDs, and there's no wandering details. Everything is laid out clearly, helping us ensure that every explorer's profile is complete, it's accurate, and it's ready for the journey ahead. By adding the start date and termination date to the employee details report, it's like uncovering 2 new landmarks on your treasure map. These markers will show who has entered the expedition and who has completed their journey. These dates will help you instantly see which explorers are newly joining the quest, are currently on the trail, or are even no longer part of the crew. This is going to help keep your map free of ghosts from past voyages. With clear start and end points, you can ensure that only active travelers have booking access, approver chains stay accurate, and departed employees don't linger in the system where treasure could accidentally leak. Now here is where we uncover the real hidden treasure with automation. We can take the employee details report to the next level with bursted reports. Once you identify your new adventurers that are joining your crew, you can set Concur to automatically send beautifully formatted HTML welcome scrolls straight to their inbox. These treasure scrolls will guide them through the map on how to log in, where to find the policy, and the first steps to begin their Concur journey. This simple piece of automation not only saves you time as an administrator, but it also sets up your new explorers for for success from day one. By giving them the tools, the instructions, and the rules of the voyage right away, you can create a smoother and more compliant organization with fewer surprises later on. And even better, these messages are sent directly from Concur reporting, and they're triggered by the employee's start date. There's no attachments to open and no extra steps. It's just a guided path to the treasure placed right in the body of the email. Now, by adding that start date and termination date to the report, you can uncover hidden markings on the map. These are details that are often buried just beneath that surface. These two simple gems give administrators the power to really guide both onboarding and offboarding as smoothly as possible as a well-charted voyage. With this treasure map in hand, administrators can easily spot when former crew members have left precious coins behind, outstanding spend that would otherwise remain hidden in the abandoned profiles. And scheduling this report weekly ensures that there are no forgotten treasure that lingers too long. And it also allows the expense administrator to stay on top of those new employees and those that are no longer with the organization. Our next stop is to the land of travel. The land of travel is where negotiated rates shine like gold, and any detour from the booking map can really cost your company real treasure. As we explore this territory, there are three key questions that are going to guide us on our journey. First, are our explorers booking the negotiated rates that are hidden along the map? Are they following the golden travel path, or are they wandering into risky terrain? And are they using the portal as their main gateway, or embarking on side quests elsewhere? Each question here is going to help us uncover gems that reveal true travel behavior and where treasure may be slipping away unnoticed. First is the fare analysis report. This is a true goldmine on our map. Every time an explorer books above the best GDS price, a bit of hidden treasure is going to slip through our fingers. By comparing the selected price to the best available price, this report uncovers invaluable gems, such as who is constantly booking above the treasure rate, which routes or destinations hide reoccurring price traps, and where opportunities exist for training, negotiation, or policy refinement. And when you add a summary page to this report, it's just like dropping a bright red X on the treasure map. It's clearly going to mark the exact spots where you should dig deeper. Now, including the best GDS vendor field on the fare analysis report is going to transform this from a simple cost comparison to a more strategic, actionable tool. Here's how it strengthens the report. First, it's going to show you whether the lowest available fare was offered. So the best GDS vendor is going to identify which carrier or fare option was truly the lowest at the time of booking. By comparing this to what the traveler actually booked, you're quickly going to be able to see when the lowest fare wasn't selected, which vendors consistently offer better pricing, and the missed savings opportunities. You're also going to be able to strengthen vendor negotiations. Knowing which vendors consistently provide the lowest GDS fares gives you the leverage when you're going through negotiation contracts. You're able to renew your supplier contracts better, pursue better discounts, and also analyze market competitiveness So it really supports a data-driven negotiation strategy. With the Fair Analysis Report, adding the best GDS vendor data item is really going to uncover an even brighter gem. It lets you place the true treasure rate and the selected airfare side by side, which gives you a powerful comparison when you're negotiating vendors. Creating a summary page is like drawing a heat map over your treasure map. It's going to reveal the patterns of explorers who consistently book above the best GDS price. These trends point directly to where you should dig deeper. And then when you schedule this report to your travel manager each month, it really becomes an ongoing lookout tower. It provides a clear visibility into where policy training may be needed and equipping your team with solid data to bring into future vendor negotiations. Every exception is a clue. You can think of it as a tiny X marks the spot. The Travel Policy Exceptions Report uncovers hidden patterns in late bookings, hotel availability challenges, and even upgrades, and detours from your preferred suppliers. When you summarize these exceptions by type or by traveler, the treasure map comes into focus, and it reveals where your policy gaps are hiding and where there are some opportunities for improvement. Now, if we add the default approver data item to the Travel Policy Exceptions Report, it's really going to turn your treasure map into an even more powerful navigation tool. Every exception is already a clue, but when you know who oversees each traveler, it helps you trace those clues back to the right guardian of the gold. It really helps you pinpoint who should receive the clues. By adding the default approver, you can route each exception to the exact person that's responsible for that traveler. That's going to help ensure that the right leaders see the patterns in the late bookings, the upgrading behaviors, the vendor deviations, and even availability issues. Instead of sending clues into the void, you're going to place them directly into the hands of the treasure keeper. It also is going to make the follow-up faster and more targeted. When approvers can quickly spot which travelers need guidance, it's going to help reduce the time spent for who owns each exception. So it really is going to shorten the path from we found a clue to we fixed the issue. Once the exceptions are uncovered, the next steps are to help turn those into real gains. First, you can start by training their travelers and the approvers to prevent repeat exceptions and keep everyone on the marked path. Creating a summary page to count the number of exceptions by employee is a quick lens into where the biggest treasure leaks occur. And scheduling the report monthly to the travel manager so trends can stay visible and actions can stay timely. Each step here is going to sharpen the map. It's going to reduce lost coins and keep your travel program treasure tight. Here we have the Travelers Not Using Concur Travel Report. This report reveals the travelers who have never used Concur Travel, yet have booked one or more agency ticketed trips. It lists each explorer by name and email, and it gives you a clear view of who's traveling off the map. With this insight, you can focus your adoption efforts on the right crew and targeting the employees who need guidance to return to the official travel path and keep the treasure where it belongs, on the online booking tool, as typically agent booked trips incur a larger fee than the online bookings. Now, by adding one key data item, the number of international trips, the clues become much sharper. Suddenly, you can tell who needs training, who needs just a gentle reminder, and who is truly navigating complex global journeys. It's a powerful adoption gem. If employees aren't booking international trips, yet they continue to call the travel agency for every reservation, that's a strong signal that they may need targeted training to guide them back to the official travel path. By adding the number of international trips to this report, you can instantly see who's booked simple domestic journeys versus more complex international expeditions. It helps you create and separate casual travelers from global explorers, which is a key clue on your treasure map. With this insight, if you notice that employees are calling the travel agency for routine domestic bookings, then you know exactly who to target for your policy training and to guide back onto the official travel path. This report is also a great candidate for monthly scheduling. A travel manager can regularly review the data, they can spot the trends, and provide timely training to keep the crew aligned and the treasure protected. Next, we journey on to the land of expense. The land of expense is the largest kingdom on our map, where treasure chests often overflow, but some might sit unguarded. Here, our expedition focuses on uncovering answers to key questions. Where are the hidden gems of outstanding transactions? What treasure can leaders actually see from their Outlook towers? And how quickly does treasure travel through the approval tunnels? In this land, every coin, every clue, and every delay tells a story that's waiting to be discovered. The expense accrual report here is one of our strongest treasure protection tools. This report shines like a lantern on every transaction that has not yet been approved. The treasure is still sitting in limbo. By adding some key data items, we're able to turn this into a more powerful report. First, we add the active column. And this is like adding a magical marker to your treasure map. It's instantly going to show you which employees are still on the journey and which ones have already sailed home. This is going to help you filter out those employees that are no longer with the company. Instead of chasing those reports, you're able to go through if you have a different process, like maybe payroll or going with HR, to navigate those outstanding transactions. Also, we can add the number of days outstanding to this report. When we add this is like adding a timer to each buried treasure chest. Suddenly, you know how long each gem has been sitting untouched and which ones are maybe at risk of being forgotten. So this is a great, powerful tool. Because you can instantly see which transactions have been stuck the longest, and those aging gems, they're ones that are most likely to maybe cause some month-end surprises, maybe some reconciliation headaches, or even some compliance issues. This report is really going to help become a heat map for your most urgent treasure. Now, after you've polished the expense accrual report and formatted it into HTML, you can send it out as a burst report to employees. It's not going to be as an attachment to an email, but it's going to be placed directly into the body of the message, like a rolled up treasure scroll that's delivered to each explorer. Each traveler receives a clear view of the gems that they've left buried, their outstanding transactions, and it's going to be displayed right in front of them with no extra steps or digging required. Along with a list of their unsubmitted treasure, they receive a message from their own kingdom reminding them of the rules of the voyage, their responsibility to safeguard the treasure, and the importance of submitting their gems as quickly as possible. It's direct, visible, and impossible to ignore. It's a perfect way to keep the treasure flowing across the map. To strengthen your treasure protection strategy, the next steps in refining the expense accrual report is, like we said, to add that employee active data item. To calculate the number of days outstanding for the transactions. And this is also a great report to schedule on a monthly basis to accounting and to also burst to employees. So those employees are able to see all of those outstanding spend. The expense entry analysis report is like your magnifying glass to your treasure map. You can think of this report as your magnifying glass that's letting you zoom in on every transaction, every vendor, and every type of spend across the kingdom. The report is perfect for spotting emerging trends, fast-growing spend categories, and unexpected spend spikes that signal hidden activity that's buried just beneath the sand. When we take this report and we add the BI manager, that is adding a captain's marker to your treasure map. It instantly shows which leader oversees each explorer's treasure activity, and this is going to turn the magnifying glass into a full leadership visibility tool. With the BI manager data item included, you can see exactly which managers' teams are driving unusual spend spikes, rapid category growth, or even recurring exceptions. So there's no more guessing which captain is steering the ship. The report is going to tell that to you. You can also utilize this report to send targeted emails to those BI managers so they can see the spend within their own kingdom. With this report, with adding the BI manager data item is really going to show you each captain what they're responsible for each explorer's unsubmitted treasures. It's really going to make the accountability crystal clear on the map. It also allows you to review the spend. You can review the spend by the employee, the vendor, or even the payment type. And again, this is a great report to burst to monthly to all BI managers, so they can really dig into the spend for their own kingdom. Next, we have the workflow cycle times report. This is the map of the underground tunnels that are buried just beneath your treasure island. It's going to reveal exactly where reports slow down, where treasure gets stuck, and where the approval tunnels are clogged or collapsing. Along the journey, it uncovers common hidden gems, such as the bottleneck approvers who are approving too fast, and even long wait times between each step. We can also hone in to those routing errors to really be able to dig into each step of the process. To really enhance this report, we're going to really dig into the data to identify the bottlenecks opportunity. We can also look at the timeline that it's taking for approvers to go through each step of the process, because even those approvers who are approving too fast can have compliance issues. And this is a great report, again, to schedule it monthly, on a monthly basis to the expense administrator to really dig into those cycles and track the trends for approvals. Now let's go to our final island, the land of compliance. In the land of compliance, the gems we uncover safeguard the treasure. They prevent loss, they reduce risk, and they strengthen the integrity of our process. Each explorer is guided by 3 essential questions. First, are explorers staying on the map? Ensuring that employees follow the established policy pathways and remain within the approved guidelines. Are treasures reimbursed correctly? And are there any suspicious patterns? Now, one of the most valuable gems that we uncover is excessive personal car mileage, because mileage costs accumulate quickly and often quietly. The report highlights key insights into long trips that should have been a car rental, extended car mileage that can be missed opportunities for more cost-effective travel options, and consistently high mileage travelers. This is a great report to look at patterns and look for spend for employee behavior. We can also look to see if there's any kind of elevated risk with that spend and those trends. To really uncover the high value gems that are hidden within the personal car mileage claims, first, we want to dig into the data. We want to look for those trends in that data, because analyzing the mileage patterns to identify long distance trips, frequent high mileage travelers, and opportunities where car rentals would have been more cost effective. With this information, we'll be able to create a clear policy for personal car usage versus rental car. And we also, great idea to schedule this report to compliance on a monthly basis. This will help the team to really have visibility into those trends, the risk, and any emerging cost savings opportunities. We have here the expenses near receipt limit report, and as we uncover patterns of cash expenses that constantly hover just below that receipt requirement, each of these entries act as a clue. It's a signal worth examining. To uncover the most meaningful clues within the expenses that fall just below that receipt threshold, first, we want to compare the cash versus the corporate card usage to identify those patterns, especially where the cash transactions cluster near that receipt limit. We also want to add a summary page to count the number of times the employees are submitting those items just below that receipt limit to be able to look for those trends. And also to schedule this report monthly to compliance, automatically, just to be sure that they're getting visibility and helping the team track those emerging patterns over time. The duplicate expense items gem protects the organization's treasurer by identifying both accidental and intentional duplicate submissions. By surfacing these duplicates early, this gem is really going to help prevent unnecessary spend. It's going to strengthen compliance and ensure that the integrity of our expense process. We can also burst this report directly to employees who have potential duplicate expense items. And this really ensures corrections happen quickly and keeps the organization's treasure chest balanced. By notifying employees immediately, we reduce the rework, we strengthen accuracy, and prevent duplicate submissions from slipping through the cracks. To protect the organization's treasurer from accidental or intentional duplicate submissions, first we want to really add a summary page, and that will help us track the trends over time. We also want to provide training to our employees to ensure that they know how to properly submit transactions on a report to avoid potential duplicates, and also to schedule this report on a monthly basis to compliance, in order for them to really dig into the trends, ensure potential duplicates continue to be addressed. Now, if you remember nothing else from today, remember these 4 treasure hunting truths. First, adding more data items really allows you to dig deeper into the data. We want to let the system reveal those hidden gems for us, and we want to automate those reports where it's possible. Also, we want to share your treasure. We want to target the right roles with burst reports or by scheduling those reports to the right teams. And we want to use our maps to find training opportunities to protect our treasure. Before you watch the next session, we'd really appreciate your feedback. Thank you, explorers. Today we uncovered new maps, new gems, and new ways to turn raw data into a clearer, powerful story. Your treasure is already there. Go claim it.